That's right, Gary. And you know what? There were so many problems across the maritime provinces today because of the weather. Half the flights out of Halifax were canceled today. All community colleges in Nova Scotia were canceled. And then this is going to be a big story for Newfoundland as we head into the Thursday forecast. There's a winter storm warning in place and blizzard warning in through Deer Lake is where the blizzard warning's in place. And that's just an indication because of the winds that's going to be whipping all the snow around. The forecast is up to 30 centimeters around Deer Lake, Gander in the 5 to 15 centimeter range. Not in the snowfall forecast for St. John's because you are going to be seeing rain continuing into a rain-snow mix for Thursday. But really strong winds into St. John's with overnight gusts up to 130 kilometers an hour. And this map really gives you perspective on color into temperatures. The blue colors are conditions that are just below the freezing mark, but we get above freezing for St. John's tomorrow. Let's take you to this scene. And Gary, oh boy, I think that the maritime provinces have had enough of winter.
Yeah, lower Sackville tonight.
That's right. And looking at the satellite of what's going on through the maritime provinces, the cloud cover is lifting. It is clearing out, just not quite yet. We still have widespread blizzard warnings in place in through Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, including St. John. Halifax is still included. And the peak wind gusts have been up to 73 kilometers an hour for Halifax, St. John, 64 kilometers an hour, Charlottetown, 70. And these are the blizzard warnings still in play right now for this evening. But into Thursday morning, it is clearing out. Halifax an additional 5 centimeters on top of what you've seen. Cape Breton getting hit a little bit harder. Let's head next to the city of Mississauga. That's right, but you can see a little bit of that steam coming off the lake. We've got that really cold air moving over the relatively warmer waters, creating that experience that you see right there. Wind chill warnings are still in place through the north, Geraldton's included. Thunder Bay, it's feeling closer to the minus 40s in these areas we've painted for you. But through the overnight in Toronto, while there's no wind chill warning in place, it is still quite cold, below wind chill warning criteria at feeling close to minus 23. But what we have setting up right now is a band of snow moving in through Oakville and Hamilton. For the morning commute on Thursday, Toronto, Grimsby, Oakville could be dealing with 5 to 15 centimeters of snow. It's a very localized event, but it's something to be aware of for the morning commute. Let's take you next to the city of Edmonton. We'll talk about what has been going on there, and this is what's going on color-wise again. We'll show you this chart. The dark purples are conditions about minus 30 temperature-wise. Winnipeg woke up to feeling like minus 40 this morning, and we've got a ridge of high pressure in place through the west, through Edmonton and Calgary. Temperatures are going to be warming up compared to what you saw today. We've got that warm front making its way through, and as we look ahead to the forecast into Thursday afternoon, we've got the warm up staying to the Halifax International Airport reported that they canceled 50% of their flights leaving today. There were also numerous school closures, and all community classes were closed as well in Nova Scotia. Now, this will be hitting Newfoundland quite hard as we head into Thursday. There is a blizzard warning in place for Deer Lake, Stephenville, and then just this lighter pink zone is in a winter storm warning, which just indicates that the winds aren't as strong, but it's still to be taken quite seriously. This is the snowfall we've seen as of 9 p.m. local time. Halifax 18 centimeters, Sydney 27, Charlottetown 29, and wind gusts for Cape Breton Island have been gusting over 80 kilometers an hour at times. The worst is over. That's the good news. Here's what we have left to go. 5 centimeters for Halifax, and Sydney will be seeing that 5 centimeter range as well. Yes, and you can see those winds whipping around. You can hardly see, of course, too. And wind warnings are still in play for St. John's. Gusts could be up to 130 kilometers an hour, particularly in through the southern Avalon, close to the shorelines. And then we do have a blowing snow warning in through Labrador. Now, here's the thing. It is moving out by the end of the day on Thursday, but still dealing with a rain-snow mix for St. John's into that Thursday afternoon forecast. But then we've got some brighter skies to look forward to and much calmer by Friday. We'll take you to, they've been quite seasonal. A lot of people, even though we've been dealing with that fog persistently, especially in through the valleys, have been posting beautiful photos on Twitter and saying that they kind of like it. Although it's been a little bit chilly in the morning for many people in through the lower mainland, just with that moisture in the atmosphere, it feels a little bit cooler for you. But we've got this ridge in the west, and that's keeping the warm air for you in place and bringing the temperatures back up into areas like Edmonton, Red Deer, and Calgary for your afternoon forecast Thursday and right into the weekend. So that's why you're dealing with those lighter, brighter colors. Here's how the temperatures look for Vancouver. Thursday, 6 degrees. By Saturday, you're going to be 8 with plenty of sunshine. That's right. For Calgary, by Saturday, it's going to be 8 degrees. The warm-up comes by tomorrow along this warm front right here, even in the north around Fort McMurray, where the high on Thursday will be +2.
Go to the...
That's right. It has been just system after system pummeling parts of Atlantic Canada this past winter. And for Newfoundland on Thursday, you're going to bear the brunt of the storm. Deer Lake in through the blizzard warning, and then just through the central part of Newfoundland, like Gander, you are in a winter storm warning. So snowfall coming for you, as well as wind gusts over 100 kilometers an hour, particularly along the shorelines. Now, as far as the snow goes, you'll be cleaning up about 5 to 15 centimeters for Gander. Deer Lake could be closer, though, to the 30-centimeter range. And as far as temperatures go, we've been in the warm sector for St. John's. Notice you're in those sort of yellow colors. Temperatures are holding on to above the freezing mark into the afternoon for Thursday. So any precipitation you see is really going to be a bit of a mix. Now we take you to this. The still in the blizzard warnings, including Halifax this evening and parts of New Brunswick. We anticipate those will start to drop in through the overnight hours because it is starting to clear out. But look, we've got that cloud cover still in place, and the peak winds for Halifax were up to 73 kilometers an hour, causing the airport to cancel 50% of the flights that were going in and out. So that's been a problem for travel. Take a look. These are the blizzard warnings still in place, starting to clear out, though. Yarmouth has been dropped. The worst is over for the Maritimes, so this is just what's left, 5 to 10 centimeters just through areas near Cape Breton Island. Let's take you next to southern Ontario and somewhat. The smart ones, I think, Gary, fly south for the winter. Now, the wind chill warning we have in place in northern Ontario is going to make temperatures for Thunder Bay and for Chapleau feeling closer to the -40s. That's what you woke up to in Winnipeg, and that's what you're waking up to again tomorrow. So it's really cold. I want to mention that this evening we have some winds that are coming off of the lakes, bringing snow towards Oakville, the city of Toronto, Grimsby and Oakville. And by Thursday morning's commute, there could be 5 to 15 centimeters on the ground, very localized, and it's an event that we're keeping our eye on. So tune into the Weather Network tomorrow morning. Let's take you next to this. And that's right, not too bad. And today's cold in through Edmonton and Calgary and Red Deer is really short-lived. By tomorrow, we're back into temperatures that are above the freezing mark, courtesy of this warm front, this red line right here. Even Fort McMurray up to 2 degrees on Thursday. Usually you're closer to -13. So the blues are staying in the west, starting to hit areas like Saskatoon, where Thursday afternoon you're going to be around the freezing mark, and then eventually it gives you some warmth there in the city of Winnipeg. Taking a look at temperatures here, Edmonton's 4 degrees on Thursday, and then up to 7 on Friday, and +5 for that Saturday forecast. Stay tuned. Our storm watch coverage continues, and coming up, we'll tell you about what's warming up in the west.
The all-new Weather Network.